We were talking about secondary football leagues today on 95.7 The Game. I was sitting in for Bonte and Shasky on their morning show on the holiday, and one of the things that kept coming up is just how it's such a difficult time of year for to talk football and that kind of thing. But we were also talking about secondary football and the leagues. People want to talk football and they're conditioned from training camp to be into football. And now here the NFL ends. And I just think that if secondary football is ever going to work, it's going to work by attaching the brand of the NFL to it. If there are players that are on the Niners practice squad that are playing, I think Niner fans will watch that. I think the appetite for football is so great now that if the 49ers had, I don't know, a team that had their own colors, their own name, and this was like, some, kind of a larger version of the practice squad
Mhm.
than exists right now, I think Niner fans would buy it. But if you don't have that connection, secondary football just doesn't work. It doesn't work in NFL Europe, doesn't work in Canadian football, American expansion, World League, XFL, USFL. None of it works with different markets and trying to rebrand, and there's not enough loyalty to it. The loyalty's to the NFL brand. So they got to figure
Mhm.
out a way, because I think the NFL's badly in need of a secondary league, a true minor league for its
Yeah.
officials. Part of the reason that there's so few quarterbacks in the NFL is that there's no place for them to improve. So so it's like you basically don't have this developmental league. They need a developmental league. The NFL so popular that I think it's gone beyond the major markets. Like you could put like the 49ers, you know, second team in Sacramento or in a number of spots around the Bay Area, and people would be fine with it. It doesn't have to be major market type entertainment. I'd love to see it. I think it's long overdue. I think if that day comes, we're going to be sitting back going, remember when, everybody tried their hand at a secondary football league and it never worked? It seems so obvious. Why didn't they try to brand it with the NFL and
Mhm.
work out a deal with the NFL? And nobody's been able to figure that out. Why is that so hard to understand?
No, I 100% agree because you can't compete against the NFL. NFL's cash cow. They're the rating. Like you cannot beat the NFL. You have to join them. And again, I agree with you. Like it's like the NBA. They have the G League. They get these players. They can kind of work their way up and into the league. If the 49ers or if any team had players that were affiliates of like the XFL and it's a developmental league and then they get, onto someone's practice squad or something, I think that would make fans like really more intrigued because again, it's just a standalone league, and right now, some people are NFL'd out there. Okay, the NFL's over, the Super Bowl's over. I'm done. We'll wait till it resurfaces again. And then the hardcore fans, I feel like they just don't really see the link. They're like, this is not the NFL product. But if there are ties to the players getting into the league, I 100% agree that it would make things a lot more fun because then you're gonna be like, oh man, this is a team that these guys could be on the 49ers. Like I remember watching, I used to live in Vegas. We had a lot of minor league teams, baseball teams and stuff until they got major leagues. And it was fun because a lot of those players would end up going to major league teams. I think they had the Dodgers at one point where they were a minor league farm club for Dodgers. And it was cool because then you'd see them in the major leagues a couple of years later or something. So gives you a little bit more incentive to watch the league. But right now, I mean, it was fun because there's nothing to watch. But if they can't get that attachment, I think they're not going to be able to get the engagement, and they're not going to be able to get the fans in the seats. Because ultimately, if you can't sell out these arenas and have the fans there, it's going to be a sinking business, and you're not going to make any money. So I agree with you on that, Larry. They need to somehow figure out a way to get the NFL involved because then it's just a continuation of the NFL. It's like their farm league, it's minor league. Okay, boom, these guys are going into the supplemental draft maybe, or they might go and get drafted from the developmental league. So let's hopefully it evolves into that.